Hey guys, right now I'm in the middle of a coffee date for myself. I have just kind of finished up having a mom date with myself, and usually about every Friday I have a really great babysitter who comes every week, and this is the day, Friday is the day that I look forward to because I get to escape my kids for a few hours, and every mom should do this. So I get to enjoy some quiet and some work time, and it's really great. So I'm still enjoying. I'm in my mom mode. I want to ask you guys a question. Do you ever feel like you're the weirdest person in the whole room? I do. I feel that way a lot, and I feel like every time, like I feel like my personal life experiences and the things that I do, I feel like nobody does the things that I do, like, or they don't do the things that I would do. I feel like I'm always like the risk taker, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, you do that?" And like some of the things, like for instance, like, and I kind of feel like the weirdo, but for instance, like some things that I've done, I really feel like no one else in the groups that I've been around have done. Like I have skydived from about 20,000 feet. This is while I was still single in Florida. And 20,000. This particular skydive place is like the longest amount of, like, the highest amount, really, of feet that you can possibly do. It's like in the entire world. So what's really cool is that if you have friends, who can do this stuff with you, and but anyways, I skydived before, and I don't feel like anyone else would say that was. They're just like, "Oh wow, okay, Melly, that's nice, that's great." And then I just kind of feel like, because also I feel like running has always been a very important part of my life, and I run while I was single. I ran while I was married. I ran through all three of my pregnancies. And, of course, the doctor was completely okay with that. He was fine. There was no issues through my three pregnancies, and the exercising. So what's so funny is that, like every time people get shocked, and I don't really brag about the fact that I do that, because people are like, "Oh my gosh, that's so dangerous, and that must be so bad for the baby," and people just like, this is the kind of stuff that I do. Like, I do this stuff because it's important to me, and I want to take care of myself. And I also know, like in this day and age, this kind of stuff, like, it's, you research and you realize, oh, there are other moms who, like, on blogs, who do this too. So, but that, anyways. Something else I feel like that I'm the only one in the whole room who does this is I've had 3 natural births. All 3 of my girls were born through a natural birth at home with a midwife, and some, like, a midwife team and everything. But nobody nobody else does it either. And I think a lot of people think I'm kind of a weirdo for that as well. But like those things, those choices that I make them because I feel like they're good choices for me. And again, like, I feel I want to. Clearly, I'm a person who's open to risks. I'm open to, trying new things. Let's see if this works. Is it? And I'm clearly a risk taker, and I want to try things, and I usually regret it. It's never as easy as I think it's going to be, but it doesn't mean that it's always something for me to work at. Like training for my first half marathon when I was single, or just like things that I want to try. Like, it takes a lot of work and discipline sometimes, but it's just, and it can be a huge a task, but I usually like to try to see if I can do it, and I think it's good for me to build that. Also, I kind of feel like because I have been diagnosed with Huntington's disease, and I have the gene, and I know a lot of people know this already about me. So, but if you don't know this about me, I was diagnosed with a Huntington's disease gene, which is genetic in my family. But I have not had any symptoms. I've been symptom free. My doctors told me that my symptoms would start by um, they age 30. They told me age 30. That was when, because that's by 30 is when my dad's symptoms started. By, my brother started before that as well, my sister. And so they're just like, well, that's going to happen to you. And you guys, I am 31. I'll be 32 this coming year, and no symptoms. I'm completely symptom free. I have a lot of peace with that. I really feel like that God is really, I don't know, just giving me, I guess, just really giving me a motivation. And like, God has really chosen, God has really shown me, through the years, how to not let Huntington's disease define my life. And, instead of using it, like, okay, well, what if, I trust God that, and I really believe that He can, I can be symptom free the rest of my life. I believe it with all my heart. But if my symptoms start tomorrow, I'm okay with that. Like, if that's His plan for me, I'm okay with that. And so I think some of the reasons why I choose to, like, take the risks that I do, I'm not afraid. I'm like, why not, try to jump 20,000 feet, skydiving? Why not write a book? Why not do these things? Because I feel like I'm a little more ready to change the world. I feel more motivated to change the world, at 30, like in my 30s, in my early 30s, like 31, because I know that tomorrow, that's always, something that can happen, and I'm aware of that. So I do feel like, this is very funny because someone just got in the car behind me. I don't think they know at all. It's just good. The world of vloggers, right? But anyway, so my point to that is that, I really feel like maybe one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about, like, I feel like Huntington's disease, even though, like, those were the darkest times for me when I was 21, when I was diagnosed, darkest times, darkest moments. And I really feel like that, that was one of the best things that ever happened to me, because it made me hold on to God like nothing else. I had nothing else to hold on to. I was shaken. And so, like, I really feel like that, I had absolutely had to hold on to God. I absolutely had to do that because He was the only thing there. And so, God has really been the one, to kind of like pull me out of all this. And I was like expecting to die, like, I was like expecting to like have my symptoms start right away, and I was like, my whole life is just taken away from me. But God's given my life back to me, and He's like, He's really redeemed, He's completely given me a beautiful life that I could never imagine, because by now, by 31, I would have expected to have at least, a few years in of symptoms. I would not be married, definitely would not have any kids. And, like, that was the life that I expected. And, that was like all that I thought, that God would have for me. But He said, okay, if you trust me, I'm going to reward you. If you have faith, then, I want to reward your faith. And so I feel like that, He just took me. He picked me up because, I had nothing left. And so He picked me up and He pulled me through, and He's like, I got beautiful, beautiful plans for you. And He gave me beautiful plans beyond my wildest dreams. And so I really feel like, I guess saying all this is to say, don't take today for granted. And if you're somebody who has, a disease, some kind of medical disease or anything like that, or just somebody who's fighting, or, don't let your disease define you. Don't ever let anything that you were diagnosed with, because the thing is, at the end of the day, God is the most, he's above doctors. God's bigger than doctors, and He's bigger. He created Huntington's. He created all these diseases, and He created you and me. So He gets to say what happens to us. And when we have faith and we trust Him, He gets to show us. When we choose to trust Him, He gets to show us how. He's like, I'm going to show you how well I can take care of you, and that's what He's done for me. So I guess I just want to challenge anybody who might be, dealing with any kind of like diseases, genetically or whatever, any other kind, to stay motivated. Like, don't let that define you. Keep living your life, keep being you, and keep enjoying your life. Like, don't stop enjoying your life just because, something like this is thrown at you. And God doesn't want you to live your life that way at all. So, but yeah, I just, yeah, I really feel like maybe it's because I've been faced with a lot of things. I had to grow up really fast. And maybe that's one of the reasons why I feel so different in a room full of people. I feel like, the things I went through, made me grow up really fast. I had to grow up as a child. My childhood in many ways was taken away from me. So it grew me up really fast. I became aware of things in ways. I had to face things, that I felt like, not everyone's had to face. But, I do not regret my life at all, because it's made me the person that I am today. And it's made me into a stronger person. Through pushing through the weaker places, God has made me a stronger person. And I know that, if for anybody out there who feels, I'm sure you can understand, don't be, just don't be defined by that. There you go. The thought just left me. I'm a mom, you guys. And anyways, but in saying that, yeah, I do have to, but in case you guys are wondering, this is my, this signs that I'm a mom right here. Before I was getting ready to go from the babysitters, Emily, my oldest, she came up to me and she saw me getting ready, and she's like, "Mommy," this is one of her necklaces, which she's a fashionista for sure. She's like, "I want to give you this necklace to wear," because she loves wearing this necklace. It's one of her favorites. I was like, "Really?" I was like, "Are you sure that you want to let me wear this? Because I know how much you love this necklace. Are you sure?" She said, "Yeah, I want you to put this necklace on so that you'll look really pretty." So what's really cute is that I wore this to the coffee shop. And, I would do this for any of my kids. Like, when they make me jewelry or give me something that's theirs and they really want me to wear it or, use it, I will do that. I will absolutely do that. So anyways, that is just, an extra little necklace, but I love it. It reminds me, of my daughters. It reminds me of my kids. And, I guess it kind of shows everyone that I'm a mom. And, yeah, so, but yeah, that's, in case you wonder what that was. That's a sign that I'm a mom. Yeah. But anyways, thanks guys, and thanks for bearing through my thoughts and stuff like that. And if you have any comments, just or any questions and anything else about what I shared today, I hope that what I shared encouraged you. I hope that what I'm sharing is, I hope that maybe it encourages you guys, because I have bad days too, and I have to remember this stuff for myself as well. So anyways, thanks you guys, and I'll see you next time.